Good evening. You're watching the Cheese Room podcast. I am still the caller, but I am not in the man cave. Unfortunately, due to a technical issue, I've been banished into the dining room. But I'm still joined by some lovely, illustrious guests tonight to talk football. And it's a nice change of scenery to me, to be honest. I've got a window and everything. It's still light outside here. So there you go. Gibbo, how are you tonight? Does it get dark up north?
It gets dark early up here, mate. Yeah, great to be on. Up in the top right-hand corner this week, like where Kane smashed that one on Saturday. So, yeah, good weekend of football. Spurs beat Rangers. My lad won his football match on Sunday morning. Wife's gone on holiday. So, here to talk about Spurs. Happy days.
Brilliant. Well, it's great to have you along, my friend. And it's even better that you're at the Rangers game because that definitely gives us something to talk about. A USP. So if you're just tuning in, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed and give us lots of likes if you want to hear Gibbo retail us with tales of Ibrox. Shan, welcome tonight in the Shan Cave, I believe. Although you are a bit, yeah.
I lost you there.
Oh, you're back. I said, Shan, you're in the Shan Cave tonight.
I am, and my internet extender does not seem to be working how I thought it would. It should be okay now. It's gone back up to full bars, but it might just be a little bit temperamental while I get it right.
Did you buy it off Seb?
No, I didn't. It was the number one rated one when I looked online, and it's so far not pulling through, but I had to split my Wi-Fi to get it to work to 2 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz, which I didn't even know was a thing. Oh
well, good to have you on. Good to have you on as ever. And Brendan, all the way from Brazil. How is the weather down there?
It's pissing down. So spoiler alert, I wasn't at the Rangers game. I didn't even watch. I saw the highlights, so that'll be my contribution. But glad that Gibbo met up with my Brazil Spurs colleagues there, so we'll chat about that. But yeah, it's pissing down. It's dark. It's horrible. But it's home. So yeah, it's all good, man.
And you're hosting for me Friday as well, Bren. So YouTube's going to see a lot of your face, which I'm sure everyone's really excited about. Sorry, I'm not Sandro tonight, so
it's all right. We can survive without Sandro for a week.
What's the Sandro latest? He's coming to the game with us, right?
Yeah, well, we got to wait till 15th of August because that's when the season starts in Portugal to see if a team does snap him up. So unless Benfica come calling, he'll be with us 17th September at the Leicester game. We had a risotto off when we was cooking his risotto when we did the recording last week. He sent me a picture of it. It looked really good. But then I did a risotto. Well, my wife did a risotto. I sort of stirred. And so I sent him a picture of my risotto, and he was very impressed with that.
This is like the bromance of the year. Oh, we had a risotto off. Jesus Christ almighty. Well, I hope we can have some drinking games when we all go to Spurs together, yeah?
Yeah. If he's coming, he won't be playing. So he'll be on. He was drinking Heineken, wasn't he, last week?
He was, yeah. Yeah, I've got some here. Cheers. There you go. And of course, Wednesday, Shan's hosting the Shan Show Wednesday as well. So full of hosts tonight. Exciting. Please do remember, channel members, you do get your extra shout out. So hello to Kerry King, Mark Hilton. I've seen Paul Muir in here as well. If you want to grab a channel membership, all the deets are on our YouTube homepage. Great way of supporting the show and getting some extra perks. And super chats are live. So if you want your question guaranteed read out and discussed by the panel, just hit that super chat button. It all goes to support the channel. So thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for your support. Get involved tonight. Let's crack into the game. It's been a while since I've been able to say that. 2-1, the Walter Tull Trophy. The trophy cabinet has got one in it this season already. First of many, Gibbo. What was it like at Ibrox?
Yeah, it was a good atmosphere. I'd like to actually go up there and be a Rangers fan for a game because they really sort of got their crowd going. I mean, the Spurs fans were brilliant, but I'll get onto them in a minute. But Rangers fans, they sort of like we played can't smile without you, and it's sort of there's a big argument about it, dampened the mood a bit. But they must have played 4 or 5 songs before, and like they really sort of got the crowd going. They were all singing, and it was a really good atmosphere. And like obviously full house for a friendly. Spurs away support was fantastic, and it was nice to go. I've always sort of wanted to go up to Ibrox. I used to like Rangers when I was younger. Don't follow them as much now, but yeah. So it's a place I always wanted to go. Not a lot going on around the ground really, but the game was good. I thought it was a decent game. I don't think Spurs were great in the first half. They were sort of like were a little bit wasteful in the opposition box, but second half, sort of Kane and Sonny decided that it was time to sort of get onto it and win the game. And we did, didn't we? I thought we were really pretty comfortable winners. Their keeper had a really good game, didn't he? Made a few really good saves, and we got into some good positions. And it was just the final ball or the final decision that let us down. Couple of not worrying things. I'm not worried, but there's just a couple of little things, couple of little positions. I'm not sure about what we're going to do, but yeah, really good day, another good result. When we went 1-0 down, I wasn't really that concerned that we were going to lose. I thought we'd get back into the game. I wasn't 100% sure that we were going to win, but I thought we'll get back into this. And all the new signings got some minutes as well, which is good.
Yeah, it is good. It is good. We'll absolutely get into that in a minute. But starting lineup, a full strength Premier League team, Shan, would you say? Pretty much as we ended last season.
Pretty much, bar Davies with his obviously knock to his ankle. We saw big Davinson Sanchez at left centre back. And actually, for all the criticism I've given him at left centre back in pre-season, he looked a lot better. He looked a lot more confident and a lot more assured on that side. So Conte's clearly been working with him on his positioning, on how he plays when he plays on the left. He did look a lot better. But yeah, pretty much the same team that started against Norwich, and rightly so. We all thought we all said we wouldn't be disappointed if that was the same team that started against Southampton. I'd maybe like to see Perisic come on and start against Roma and Israel. Even if he plays sort of 50, 60 minutes and Cesc comes on for the majority of the second half, I'd like to see Perisic, because I just think when he came on, he made such a difference into what we could do. He was a leader on the pitch. He was getting up the pitch. He nearly scored with an insane acrobatic effort as well. And
scissor kick,
yeah, 33 years old doing that. I mean, thought he was meant to be.
I mean, you should see me on a Tuesday night. 40 years old.
You broke your foot, caller. So that tells us all we need.
He looks in good shape for a bloke that age.
I haven't.
Well, they all do now, but
are you talking about me or are you talking about?
Not you, mate. No, I'm talking about Perisic. He looks in good shape.
Yeah, he does. He's look at Zlatan. He's what, 42 or something, and still playing at the top of his game. Yeah. It is possible if you keep yourself fit. But yeah, I mean, Daddy Davis has signed a new contract today as well. Brendan, happy about that? Davis being rewarded.
Yeah, it's good to see. I mean, like I said, he sort of proved last season in the sort of position that he's at his strongest, which is the left side of the centre back, as opposed to a fullback. He just looks more comfortable there. He even comes forward more. So yeah, he's shown that he's a worthy squad player. Probably has that position nailed down for the time being. We'll see how Longley progresses when the games come thick and fast. But yeah, happy for him. I'm sure he went to Nana's with a box of French fancies. Nana, I got some more money now. So yeah, but he's a lovely guy. We want him to stay around.
He went to Nana's with a box of French fancies.
Yeah, I'm stealing Majestic's sort of little. He does a really good Ben Davies impression, so I'm just stealing it from Madge.
I don't think it is. It's a stereotypical Welsh accent, is what it is. Shout out to Madge. But yeah. We could all do that, shumai, bodada, and all of that. But there you go. Some of us are Welsh and take offence at that,
Or whatever.
Oliver Skip, again, injury worry, Gibbo. Worried about this?
Not really. It was they probably don't want to risk him, do they? Even if it's a slight knock, it's only a friendly, so really no point in risking him. Well, I did want to. One thing about, I thought Sanchez played all right at left centre back. He looked, like Shan said, I thought he looked a lot more comfortable. But when we're talking about Perisic, one thing I don't know what everyone else thinks, but watching it, Sessegnon obviously started. I don't know if he's going to be the starting left wing back going forward, if that's how they see it. But I never feel I always feel that there's more to come from him. I never feel that you sort of get like the full,
all of him.
You sort of like, you're watching it and you think, right, Sessegnon today, he's on there. Let's see what you can do today. And you sort of go, by the time you're sort of half hour in, and you're like, oh, it's not written. Just at the moment, it just never really seems to happen with him. When Perisic come on, I don't think he got up and down as much, but he just seemed a lot more sort of comfortable and in control of what was going on. And, you know, he was talking to the other players and they were sort of like discussing what they were going to do. Where I just feel like Sessegnon, something needs to happen for him. It's just like, I don't want to have a go at him because I thought he did all right, but it's just as if it's like never enough. Do you know, we're waiting for more.
I feel like he's always holding back, playing within himself.
I feel that, and the other point is, we say about I thought the wing backs, especially the right-sided one, not became a bit of an issue, but you started thinking if he's bringing off Emerson at halftime and he's put in more of there, because I don't think we were getting what he wanted from Emerson. And you're thinking it's a bit of a problem, because before the game they were warming up down by us and they had like Emerson practicing his crossing like a kid. You know what I mean? He'd pass it to them, they pass it back, and he'd like have to cross it into, there was nobody in the box or anything, and you're like, but they're sort of coaching you like a little boy here. I just think it's still. I think that right wing back is an issue at the moment.
It's definitely an issue. It's definitely an issue. Let's touch on it for a minute. Emerson, as you rightly say, I thought was poor in the first half. He's not exactly flavour of the month with the Tottenham faithful. That's an understatement. Conte's talking about putting Lucas at right wing back. Then we bought Spence, but according to Conte, that was a club signing, not a Conte signing, which I think we all knew at the time, or most of us. Who starts at right wing back, Bren?
You're right. It's a problem position. I mean, Lucas was experimented there. I don't think he did overly well either. Emerson, I suppose we'll see how the doc does when he gets back to full fitness. He's still recovering, isn't he, from the knocker against Villa? So he's just getting match fitness back as well himself after a few months out. So yeah, you're right. It's probably the key area that we don't look strongest in. I just don't think Emerson has the final ball on him. Like Gibbo was saying, the fact that they were sort of coaching him to, like, you know what I mean? When at this level, you can't really learn significant. You can learn tricks and things here and there, but sort of fundamentals of the game you should really have under your belt already. And he doesn't have that. His final ball isn't there. We could probably get a bit of money for him if it's going back to Spain. Maybe make our money back. But yeah, it's a problem. And I'm surprised Conte is saying that Spence isn't for the now. Like, let's give him a try. Like he had an amazing block in the game against Rangers where. It was a really well-timed tackle in the box. Like, well, there we go. So, and he sort of showed that he had the awareness.
Brad, I would just follow that up with the next thing he did was give the ball away that nearly led to a goal. So, I mean, he's got a lot to learn. I think, look, there's no doubt Spencer's a raw talent. And I think he's going to be a very good player. But where he is in the pecking order is going to be really interesting. I mean, where they all are in the pecking order is going to be really interesting, Shab. Who would you start right wing back first game of the season? Shan.
I personally would start. I was thinking.
Okay.
I'd personally start with Doherty, but I think it will be Emerson. I think Emerson will start.
I don't think Doherty's going to be fit enough.
Yeah, well, this is it. I think whoever starts on Saturday will start against Southampton at right wing back. Obviously, Spencer's only had, 15, 20 minutes. It's nowhere near enough. He doesn't really know the Conte way yet. He's got to have a few training sessions behind him, getting to know what Conte expects of him, etc. I do just think it's going to be Emerson. Mora, he was really underwhelming.
I think it's going to be a case of he'll start Emerson because he knows him. But if he's not doing what he wants, he'll look him and he'll be putting, if Doherty's not fit, he'll be putting Mora up there. Because I think it's just because, I think the reason he does that is because he wants those wing backs to get into attacking positions. And that's, like we talk about creativity, but that's where he's expecting that sort of creativity to come from. And he's not getting it. So he thinks, well, at least Mora's a bit of an attacker, pacey, will get up and down and, try and make something happen. And I think that's why he does it. So, but I think Shan's right. Whoever starts in those positions on Saturday, there's a good chance that they'll start against Southampton. Lucas, it is a bit of a problem.
Lucas is one that could learn the position and could do well. I mean, we've been calling for him to play right wing back pretty much all of last season. He's not really got that much defensive about him, but our wing backs generally have to bomb on, don't they? So potentially Gibbo, it's not really it's something he's got to learn. But
because I think in the first half,
my reservations with Lucas is he runs into a lot of blind alleys anyway.
His final ball's rubbish.
Can't beat a man. Lucas can't beat a man, and he's not intelligent enough to pick up pockets of space like Doherty does either. So I just don't really see what he can offer. He can't.
But then I think the trouble is Emerson and Sessegnon both got in really promising positions, and then nothing came from it. They made we can't win. Like Lucas can get forward more, and I'm not saying he can beat man, but he's got pace and he can get out wide. But he can't do like you said. He's not very good at finding space. But then Sessegnon and Emerson sort of get in those positions, and then it comes to nothing. So we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. I do think
Emerson has got better, but
yeah, he has.
Twice he was in really good attack, like really good shooting positions where he could have got a shot away, and he didn't have the confidence to do it. I think ultimately it's a confidence thing for Emerson. He don't feel like he has the ability to do that, and he's either got to get that confidence quick, or we need to look at other options. Obviously, we've got Doherty, who I think would have shot. I think Spence would have shot in that position. So.
If we're aiming for major honours, we need people who are confident in their own ability and who are brave and who make good decisions. That's what we need.
Who dare to
Emerson's brilliant, where we're going to be defending a lot, where we're not going to have the ball so much. Like he was brilliant against City, he was brilliant against Liverpool, because he is defensively solid. But when you've got games where you're going to have a lot of the ball and the other teams can let you have it, he can't unlock a defence with a pass, can he? Like Perisic can. So it's finding the balance. I think Spence could be the answer, but he needs time to learn what Conte wants from him first and foremost. He's still a kid. So.
The thing is, I don't think he's going to be the answer this season, and that is, long term. I would agree. I think that's why we've signed him, and let's hope he works out better than some of our other youth acquisitions have recently. But. Long term, yeah, absolutely. But we've got to. It's a difficult one, really. It's a difficult one. Who you start there and who's to play. I mean, is there any chance we could see someone coming in on that side, Bren?
Well, who is there? I mean, we literally just signed someone for that position. Paid relatively significant amount, 12.5 going up to 20. Who else is there in that position in the market? I need to watch one of Seb's videos to catch up on. Who's available? I mean, Raid Barcelona, they seem to be bringing in players. They've got a
no, we did that for Emerson, remember?
Oh yeah, that's true. So, it's something that we'll see. We've got 3 weeks? No, it's end 1st of September, isn't it? The window closes. When does it close?
It's 1st September, I think, usually, isn't it? Last day of August, usually.
It is. I mean, there's loads of time. That's the thing. I've seen some comments coming in, where's the 150 million? We've still got, where's all this money? We've only spent net 70. Well, that's true. I don't know what we've spent net now, but you've still got Romero to pay off, haven't you? Which is 45 million. Say again, sorry, Shan.
I still think we'll sign him.
She said it was about net 70.
But I said it is around net 70 mil, the net spend, but I still think we're going to make one or two signings. We need to make space. Like, I've seen comments about, we need to sell to buy. Well, clearly we don't, because we've bought 6 players. We've spent over 100 million already. But we've got 30 senior players and can only register 25. That's a problem. So we need to clear some space before we get anyone else in.
Yeah, we don't have to shift them to buy, do we? We just got to get rid of them out the squad because we can't have players. We can't just stockpile players.
Yeah, but there is a financial aspect to it as well. You know, you've got players sat there, Lascelles on
taking a
£80,000 a week, and Dembele on circa 200 grand a week, Harry Winks on 80 grand a week. You know, you're talking probably 500,000 plus a week in Deadwood. So it's just as important to get these players out than it is to bring them in, I think. But yes, we are short at right wing back. I think I do think we will sign more players.
I think we will.
That's absolutely for sure. It'd be interesting to see if the Tanganga stuff takes off. It looks like they're trying quite hard to get him to Milan. It'd be interesting to see who we sign as centre back cover, because that's still on the horizon, isn't it? We're still looking for that star centre back signing. Do you think there's a chance one might come in, Sham?
I think it's a really tough one because our two key targets are available this summer in Bastoni and Vardiol. I don't even think Bastoni is going to be available next summer, looking at what he's come out and said in the media today. So, I mean, Brahma's gone. He's gone to Juve. So how many top quality centre-backs are there really that we could go after? Obviously, we've got Longley in for the season. I just think we can't sign any centre-back. They've got to have similar leadership qualities to Dyer, but with the technical ability as well. That's the only way we improve on Dyer, is if you've got someone that does it all. Because Romero hasn't got that leadership skill yet. He's obviously still very young himself. I don't think he's got that. That's not part of his game yet. And you can tell when Dyer's out of the back line how unorganised the defence is, because no one's controlling them. No one's telling them where they need to be. But that's why Dyer is so important and why he's such a mainstay and played the most minutes in pre-season so far. So I think he's a really hard player, not because he's the most gifted, the most talented player in the world, but because of what he brings to the team in terms of leadership and making sure
every manager's loved him. Every manager's loved him.
Exactly. I think he's a hard player to. He's not a hard player to upgrade in terms of footballing ability, but he's a hard player to upgrade in terms of what he brings to the team, to the starting 11, to the squad. So it needs to be the right signing, and I think that's why Spurs are obviously just being careful about how they go about it. It needs to be the right player, not just chucking money at someone just to keep the fans happy. I think that's what it is.
We won't do that.
I don't think there's any danger of us doing that, to be honest.
We won't do that.
We never have. Although a lot of people moaned that when we paid 60 million or 50, 52 for Richarlison, didn't they? So, we shall see. We shall see what happens. But back to the game briefly, and then we'll talk transfers. 84 people watching already. Please do smash that like button. It takes you a second, means the world to us. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching. We started like a house on fire, didn't we, Gibbo? Kulusevski was playing out of his skin, I thought, and Kane had a chance. It looked like we were going to smash him.
We missed quite a few chances, and then we sort of allowed. They grew into the game a bit because obviously we missed a few, and then I think when you do go off like that, I think you do have a period where you sort of calm down a bit, and they got back into it, and they had a lad on the right who he was causing Sessegnon and Sanchez a few problems. I think he was the kid who put the ball in for their goal. The goal was a little bit scruffy, but it was good play from the lad out wide. And they just sort of had that period, And then once the second half started, we were like bang on it. We sort of...
Wait up, Gibbo. Are we going to skim over Højbjerg's missed one-on-one opportunity?
Yeah. I mean, I was down the other end from that, but I just stood there and I turned to that and I was like, how's he missed? How's he not at the top? How's he not even at the top?
Brendan's gonna run to his defence here.
I'm going to run to his defence. It looks bad, but it's kind of like
him to make out as if he forgot to touch on it as well. It made me laugh. Yeah. He's like, no, he saved it. No, mate,
really close. It was a really close. So yeah, I'll give him I don't mind that from Højbjerg. The sloppy passing, I mind.
Yeah.
That miss, it looked bad, but it was really close. We got to give him that.
You got to hit the target. Yeah, mate. I agree. I love Højbjerg. I think a lot of people, he gets a lot of stick, and I think he's the type of guy that he has a few bad games, but I can't see him not playing for us. I think every sort of manager has him, and they have a few doubts. But once they've seen him in training, I think round the club and on the pitch and that, I think they're sort of like, this bloke's got. I think he offers stuff that other people don't. He just sort of like helps everybody, makes it all work for want of a better word. But mate, you got to be hitting the target there if you're a professional footballer.
Gotta be.
I mean, McGregor was having a storm
target on a Tuesday night.
If McGregor had saved it the way he was playing at the time, you'd have thought, but like when he put it wide, I couldn't believe it. I was like, how's he not even hit the target?
It's the fact he was claiming it. He's going,
yeah,
like this,
no, it was wide. Yeah,
he should have just stayed on the floor and pretend he'd hurt himself. That would have been better.
That's the Regulon strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about this then? Højbjerg upgraded with Basuma, Shan.
Oh, you had to do it, didn't you?
Yep.
Look, I don't understand how people can still slander Højbjerg when he repeatedly puts in the stats that he does season after season. He was statistically one of the best central midfielders in the league last season. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just nonsense. And you've got to have a squad. It's not about It's not always about upgrading. PEH is very, very good at what he does, and he is needed for certain games. Basuma is very, very good at what he does. Skippy is very, very good at what he does. Benton Kerr, absolutely brilliant, undroppable for me. I think he gives us something different. They're all very, very good at what they do. They're all slightly different, and you need that in a squad if you want to be consistent and you want to win stuff. And Dave, considering he goes on about winning trophies all the time, should know this. It's about having a good squad. It's about having strength in depth. That's what we've got in the midfield now.
With Basuma, what do you think he's going to bring to the team, Gibbo? You obviously saw him have a bit of a cameo.
I don't think he did anything special, but I think he kept the ball ticking over. It was his first pre-season game, wasn't it? He sort of kept the ball ticking over, some nice touches. He looks to whip a ball into players' feet. But I don't think you could really tell a lot from that game what he's going to bring. But hopefully, he's going to bring a bit of energy. I like Benton Kerr as well, but I didn't think he was that great on Saturday. I don't think anybody was awful. I mean, apart from, but I don't, there was probably Kane, who was absolutely fantastic. Kulusevski had a really good first half. But they were all pretty just good, weren't they? They just all sort of played good, and Basuma,
Son switched off. Now he's left the motherland. He's the rest, really.
Sorry, mate. Go on.
I just want to ask you about this guy, Papa Sarr. How big is he in the flesh? He looks enormous for a kid.
I didn't really. I can't really tell. I didn't really sort of look how big players were or whatever. So I'm sorry, you're asking the wrong bloke.
Brendan, Papa Sarr, how big did he look? He looked massive, didn't he?
I've seen his highlights reel on YouTube. He hits a wicked free kick. He's not quite filled out yet. I think there's as you said, he's still a kid. I don't know if we'll hold on to. I think he probably will go out on loan. I just want to keep him in the Premier League, ideally. Like loan him to another Premier League, get him used to the Premier League. Like loaning him out overseas just doesn't make any sense for his development if we're going to stick with him long term. But in terms of his size, I think he could hit the gym a bit more. as we all
big
could.
Tall lad, though, isn't he? Big tall lad.
Yeah. It's good. Just on the Rangers game, so I thought it was a really good pre-season game for us in terms of the intensity, because the Scottish League kicks off this weekend. So I think we may have been their last pre-season friendly before they kick off. So they're ready. So the intensity was really good. It's a really good prep for us in terms, and the Seville game as well. They were really up for it as well. So these have been really good pre-season games. Roma will be Mourinho. So I'm sure he'll want to get one over on us. But yeah, just wanted to point out that the intensity level from Rangers was really, really good this game. And it was a really good choice for us to have for a friendly.
I think it was, and it gave the fans something different as well. Travelling to wee bonny Scotland, because it's not very often we play a Scottish team, is it? Let's be honest. I thought the reception Fraser Forster got was good, Gibbo.
It was
when
funny.
He came on.
I think he quite enjoyed it. When he came out to do his warm-up, I don't think it really fazed him. I think he was quite up for it. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, they give him some stick. But he must have known he was going to get that.
What I did take from him coming on, I just thought, just his ball handling and everything, the way he holds himself, I felt immediately more assured than when Galini was in goal. You know what I mean?
Galini... Awful.
Shan? Earth to Shan?
Yeah.
Are you still thinking?
I didn't know you asked me a question. You didn't address it to me.
I did, yeah. I said, I feel more assured with Forster in goal than Galini. Massive upgrade, isn't it?
Well, yeah, he's obviously a lot more experienced than Galini, isn't he? Galini just reminded me of, like, you know, one of them, like, it's like a long rubber, and you like can wobble it. Like, he was like almost like spaghetti arms. Like when he was trying to catch the ball, he'd sort of go like this. And he wasn't very assuring, was he? I don't really think he got a proper crack of the whip. And I don't think he ever played behind solid defence, which probably didn't give him any confidence whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, Forster's a Premier League keeper. He's got experience in the Champions League. He's won trophies. Like, he's no mug, is he? Like, definitely.
Well, no, he had the game of the season last year against us as well, didn't he? Let's face it.
And against
Arsenal. And Arsenal.
Same against Arsenal got us Champions League, so.
Very true, very true. So it was only fitting, but I feel much assured that, because Lloris, if he does get an injury, that's not going to cost us this season with Forster there. Absolute facts, in my opinion. Good. Kane's goals, we should definitely talk about them. Gibbo, how was it live and direct from the stadium?
Oh, mate, that was brilliant, because we were sat, when it hit the side netting, we were looking like directly at that side netting. Just, I've said this before, but man, he is quality. We are so lucky to be witnessing, obviously him and Kane, him and Son, but he is so good. Like, when you watch that game on Saturday, there was some really good players on that pitch, mostly for Spurs, not many for them really, but he is just like a cut above everything he does. It's just, he is an elite striker, and he's a fantastic footballer as well. He's not just a goal scorer. Everything he does is brilliant. He just, when he sort of as he's going up and he bends that and it hits the side netting, it's just great technique, and he's bang at it. I'm just hoping that we're going to have a massive season from him. And what I found quite telling was at the end of the game, when the fans all sort of come over, it was him leading everybody over, and he's sort of behind what we're doing now. Whereas a year ago, he couldn't give two fucks about what we were doing. He wanted out. But this year, he is just sort of his link-up play, his passing, his finishing. It was as if he said, right, we're 1-0 down here. We can't lose this. It's a friendly. So let's get me the ball. Get me and Sonny the ball up top, and we'll just finish this game off. Brilliant. We are so lucky to witness him playing for us. Fantastic
Brendan.
Player.
Yeah, exactly. And what Gibbo was saying as well, he looks so happy now. You see him, and he talks about the collective. It's not just about him.
He needs to sign that extension.
Well, again, it's kind of, it doesn't matter either way. He's tied down for another 2 years. But yeah, it's just good, and he's really behind it. I just recut my thumb. So yeah, I'm bleeding everywhere. Sorry. Yeah, he just looks happy. And that his first goal, we've seen that so many times. I mean, he sort of gets it out of his feet, just gets a bit of space past defender, and we knew when he did that shuffle, there was only going to be one outcome. The second, again, great to see him link up with Sonny. It was just both were superb goals, and that's 5 goals he's got now in 3 preseason games. So he means business, and I think his happiness, his willingness to have a good season with us can only be good if we're going to be sort of aiming for beyond top 4. If we're aiming for the league, if we're aiming for the cups, we need him on fire, and he certainly looks it.
McGregor was having a great game, and it was going to take something special to beat him. Up steps Harry Kane, top bag. Fucking brilliant.
And it's that simple, isn't it? As soon as that ball left his foot, you knew where it was going.
You've seen it so many times.
Knew where it was going. Yeah. But no one can stop it.
Do you know what's really funny, right? Obviously, I'm very pro Harry Kane because obviously I'm a Spurs fan, and if you're not pro Harry Kane and you're a Spurs fan, you're not right. But my group chat with my mates, obviously, we've all got our fantasy league, and they've all got Haaland. They've all gone for Haaland instead of Kane, and I keep saying to them, I'm like, every game that goes by in preseason, guys, you're making a mistake. You need to get Kane in your fantasy team. Guys, you're making a mistake. I'm like 5 goals in preseason for Harry Kane in 3 games. And it's not as if he played like soft opposition either. Maybe, I don't want to do the K-League disservice, but obviously it was an exhibition game. They were a lot fitter than our boys were. And ultimately we did concede 3 goals, but we did score 6. So, I mean... It's not even just it's the quality of the finishes. You know, he can do it against the best of the best. I just think anyone that has not got Harry Kane in their fantasy league this year is making a big mistake, because I think it's going to be one of his best goals. I think he might do a record goal scoring season this season. He looks that good. He's in the best shape he's ever been in. He's whacking goals in for fun. His passing is just obscene. Like I've noticed he's doing more flicks and tricks in the middle of the pitch now as well. Like his confidence is just off the start. Anyone that's not backing Harry Kane to have his best season in the Spurs shirt is not watching the same thing, I don't think.
Also,
if you haven't already signed up to our fantasy football details in our Patreon, aren't they? If you're not already a patron, what are you doing? Get over there. Patreon.com/Cheeseroom Podcast. Sorry, Brent, I interrupted you.
No, I was just going to say, look, Haaland will probably get a load of goals this season, but he's still unproven at Premier League level. We still don't know what we'll see from him. The German league is very different to the Premier League. So it's a risk sticking with Haaland and just dismissing Harry, because we know what we'll get. We're going to get minimum 25 goals, loads of assists. So to go for Haaland over Harry just seems crazy. Haaland will probably score, but we don't know for certain.
Do you know what else makes me laugh? When you see these people say, "Oh, who's the most underrated player at Spurs?" And I'm like, it's Kane, isn't it? You speak to anyone else I love Sonny, but you speak, Son's brilliant. Without Son, he's your best player. And I'm like, no, he's not. Son's a great player, but Kane is just phenomenal.
Yeah. A different level. He's generational.
Yeah.
You just won't see another player like him for Spurs when he goes for a long time.
We may not. Like me, in my early 40s, I may not get to see a player like that again.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bit like Greaves. He's Greaves. He's that level.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he is that level. Premier League's lucky to have him. England are lucky to have him, and we're really blessed to have him. So
yeah, brilliant.
Please, Harry, if you're watching, as I know you must be, because the Cheese Room is the place to be, sign the contract, man. Sign the contract.
I think it's
Charlie to negotiate. He'll sort it out.
I think it's in the work. I have no doubt that a contract won't happen. It will happen. I have no doubt that it won't. It's 100%.
I think it's very much connected to Conte. I think if Conte signs an extension, Harry will probably follow suit. If Conte sticks with his sort of what he got another 18 months with him, Harry may be like, well, let's see where we go after this guy. But if Conte signs on, I think Kane will.
Or if Conte goes in Bruno Lage, we get someone like Bruno Lage from Wolves, then they've got no chance of him staying, have we?
No, but I'd rather Bruno Lage than Nuno, to be fair. So, yeah.
He's in a problem.
I mean, the fact that he's in the Saudi league now, isn't he? I think that says it all.
Making them proud.
It just says
making them proud.
That's all. It says that there's money there. We're going to make you proud. Yeah, you better have, or you'll have your hand chopped off, sunshine. Yeah.
Making fans proud since 2021.
Yeah, exactly. With Haaland, though, just going slightly off Spurs topic, Haaland, I could score 20 goals for City up top. You could score 25 probably because you're an athlete, Brent. You've just got to be on the end of the ball. They've got so many people that can put it on a plate for you. It's the stuff dreams are made of if you're a striker going to City. So he will score loads of goals. I don't buy into this unknown quantity business. He's very well known. He's a phenomenal striker and has been certainly so far in his career. And I've got absolutely no doubt he'll do it at City because who wouldn't fail? Oh, Jesus. He didn't do so well there, did he?
Well timed, caller. Well timed.
You're right. It's he probably will score the goals because he's up front for City. They've got so much talent behind him. Unless Bernardo Silva does go to Barcelona, which would be a worry for City. But yeah, I'd still think Kane will outscore him. I still think the league is getting tougher. The margins are getting thinner in terms of the difference between the squads. City won't steamroller every team 5-0 next season. So. Look, we know he's got quality, Haaland. I still think Kane's better. I still prefer Kane over Haaland. I would rather have Harry Kane in my team than Haaland.
No, I agree. Kane's got more to his game. There's 128 people watching, only 44 likes. Let's get to 100 and then head for 2. Hit that like button, please, while you're watching the show and hopefully enjoying it. Yeah. What do we think of Joe Rodon's hair? Just that interest. Did you see his hair?
It was fine. It just did a side part. I don't get this thing.
It was weird. I don't like it.
What's wrong with it? It was a side parting.
It affects the way he plays when he parts it to the side, does it?
It just don't suit him. It just don't look right.
I saw these posts and then I saw the picture of him and I'm like, he's just gone to supercuts. There's nothing like outrageous about. I thought he had like frosted tips. What was the thing in the 90s that all the boy bands had? I was like,
I had
that. Still have sometimes.
He doesn't bring the ball out as well when he parts it to the left. So he just needs it how it was before. Fucking hairdos. Load of nonsense. I couldn't even tell from where I was sitting.
Yeah. Do you reckon he'll be gone? I think he's definitely going on loan at least.
Going to need to sign some more centre backs. He's going to
want to play. He's going to want to play, isn't he, Rodon? I thought he did all right when he come on. He was pretty steady, and I think he's always been reasonably steady. He's made a few mistakes, but I think that he just needs to be playing some football, doesn't he? You know, must be. He can't just keep. You know, how old is he? 24, something like that. 23, like 24.
That, yeah. 24.
Just probably needs. He just wants to go and play some football. So I think he'll move on. It'll probably be if we get someone else in towards the end of the window, he'll probably go on loan somewhere.
Especially with the World Cup, like he wants to make the World Cup squad for Wales. Like, there's no way he'll do that. Like, not even getting.
There's no other centre backs for Wales, Bren. He'll be absolutely fine. Don't worry. Him and Davis are a shoo-in. Like, it's not even a conversation. It'll be fine. He can sit on a bench, no issue. Okay, what did we make of Longlay's debut then? Shan, you've watched the match 3 times. Longley. You coming round to the idea?
I thought his passing looked good. I thought he looked confident. He was only on for what, 20 minutes? 25 minutes. So not really long enough to really make a judgment. But I thought from what I did see, he looked solid enough. And I hope he is, because obviously we don't know if Davies is going to be back for Southampton or not. So I think I'd rather see Longley start at left centre back against Roma than Sanchez if Davies is still out with his knock to his ankle. So it's a tough one because obviously I want him to do really well and he looked really good, but I just haven't seen enough of him to have any sort of well-informed opinion yet.
And then Hill came on, much to HG's annoyance and mine, to be fair, to a degree. He played on the right. What was going on there, Gibbo? I like Hill. I really wanted to.
I thought he was busy. He didn't have to put a shift in, chasing down defenders and stuff like that. But he wasn't really on long enough, or didn't really have enough of the ball to sort of make anything happen. Really, and he's another one. Like when you talk about Sessegnon, you sort of watch him come on in these cameos, or when he's sort of started games, and you think you're going to get more from him, and you don't really get what you're hoping for. So. But he's another one, like, send him out on loan, but let's send him to a Premier League team where he's going to play some minutes. I think loads of people have said it on our shows before. It's no good sending him back to Spain. We sort of know that he has more time and space on the ball over there and he can do it. Let's try him when we're going to have to use him, which is over here against other Premiership teams. So I think a loan would suit him as well, because I can't see him getting enough minutes to actually push his way into the team. So a loan would be a good move for him.
Yeah, I can't see anything other than another loan for Hill, to be honest. I think he's a talent, but he's still not there yet.
There's definitely, I think there's something there. I've seen a little bit more.
Oh, definitely.
Now than I did sort of last season. Do you get what I mean? He looks like he strikes me like he could be a little bit not as good as Modric, but he's got that sort of way about him. He can twist and turn.
The truth is, you don't know how good any of these players are going to be until time will tell. When Bale signed, most people were on his back for the first couple of years, because he was shocking.
That's because
and then he just had
them in the team caller, to be fair.
No, he played lots of matches.
Bale started off really well. I think, didn't he score a free kick against Arsenal?
But he went on a streak, didn't he, where every time he played, we lost. I think it was quite a long streak as well.
We didn't lose.
We didn't win.
About 40 games or something. Yeah,
it was crazy.
He wasn't very good either. He's been playing at left back, didn't excel at all. And look, the reality is he got pushed further up the pitch. Harry Redknapp got the best out of him, didn't he? Then obviously AVB. Yeah, by luck, but he just peaked at that moment. It was confidence with him. He got the confidence and never looked back. And I think a lot of these players, it is about confidence. I think Hill. What's encouraging was signing good, talented young players. Hill, Spence, Sarr. They're building the team for the future there as well as for the present. But let's talk about the present for a minute. And Richarlison obviously got some more minutes. Went in the middle of the three when the subs came on. Brendan, is your sort of compatriot countryman. Richarlison, is he looking at home in a Spurs shirt now?
Getting there. Like I'm not like Paul Muir in that I can't get used to seeing him in a Spurs shirt. Again, I only saw the highlights of the Rangers games. So I think he wins fouls quite regularly, and it's not through diving. He just draws in tackles and shields.
People want to kick him for some reason.
He gets kicked in every single game. I've noticed that a lot. He is literally getting like clattered in, and I always thought he was just like spent all his time on the floor, but he genuinely does get kicked about all over the pitch. Like
he got wiped out Saturday, didn't he? They wiped him clean out.
Like you could hear it. It was a noisy. It was like a clatter.
And that ability to win fouls in the final third. I mean, we still need to find a free kick taker. But if I
was about to say, Harry Kane took the free kicks again, didn't he?
Not Kane. It can't be Kane after that. Like that's inexcusable.
Harry, just stop.
As well class as he is.
There is kryptonite free
even
kicks.
Pulis come out and asked him to stop taking free kicks.
Yeah,
like that's something. When you've got your own teammates saying, "Harry, you're great. You're the best striker I've ever seen, but please stop taking free kicks."
Yeah. So it's greedy, but because he scored that fluky one that bounced in off a player, it'd be he'd be dining out on that for ages with hhis teammates. 100%. There's
It's
got to be better options.
Sonny scored a couple for Korea over the summer, didn't he? So
yeah, I'm pretty sure Kulusevski can take a free kick.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. It would be good to have a specialist.
Perisic can take a free kick.
Yeah.
Perisic is a good set piece taker.
Yeah. But Kane just grabs that ball and it's his. And that's
Eric Dyer is a better set piece taker than Harry Kane is.
Dyer's not bad, to be fair. Dyer's not bad.
He at least hits the target.
Yeah, I completely with you. Yeah. And then Perisic's acrobatic effort, that was pretty special, wasn't it, Gibbo? If that had got in, that would have been beautiful.
Yeah, been great. You like these, obviously he's a wing back, but like with Richarlison, I just want him to score a goal now to get off the mark, because we've seen it with players before at Spurs, haven't we? We bought these players, give them the number 9 shirt, and then the longer it goes without, can you remember like Postiga? We've had Soldado.
He scored on his debut penalty, and that was as good as it got.
The worst forward I've ever seen at Tottenham, Gregor's Raziak. Do you know what I mean? That number 9 shirt can be a bit of a curse for some of them. But and I just want him to get off. Was it Fraser? Who was the guy we bought from Man United? Was it Fraser Campbell? Well, we never bought him. We loaned him, didn't we? Did he? He only scored a couple, didn't he? He didn't score many.
I think in the League Cup.
But I just want him, because he works so hard, and he's one of them players. I can see us all sort of being in the stands, just willing the ball in for him, and it's not happening for him. And you're like, oh, we just need it, and you start feeling sorry for him. We don't want that. We just need him to get off the mark, hopefully against Roma, because he's obviously not in the team for South. He's not in the squad for the Southampton game, is he? So he just needs to get off the mark.
One person who won't be in that squad or in Israel is Troy Parrott, who is on loan, Preston North End, but also signed a new contract till 2025 today. Happy about this one, Shan?
Yeah, I mean, I believe he chose where he was going to go himself. He's got a few of his national team mates there for the Republic of Ireland, so hopefully that will help him settle. I want him to have a big season. I feel like he needs that one big season out on loan to come back fit and firing for next season. He's approaching the age now where Harry Kane sort of started to first get into the team, into the squad. So hopefully next season he'll be here. He'll be one of the options up front. But he needs to earn it, and he needs to earn it this season. His attitude seems to be spot on again. He seems to have he lost a bit of focus, I think, and he seems to have refocused himself, and he's had a great second half of the season at MK Dons. There's no reason why this guy can't be an absolutely brilliant talent, but he needs to work on it, and he needs to earn it for himself.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest with Parrott. I've always liked Parrott. I think he's absolutely got an eye for a goal, works hard. I think he'd be a good player. I think we're putting probably too much pressure on him, imagining he's going to be the next Kane, because, like we said, Kane is generational, but he could absolutely be a very useful player for us. Let's hope he bangs some goals in. The one caveat I would say on what you've just said, Shad, is that Kane, when he went on loan, pretty much failed on every loan he had. I don't think there was a good one. He just sort of broke through at Spurs after playing well in the under 23s, I think it was. So we shall see how it goes. I'll watch that loan with interest, because I'm like you. I hope he bangs him in this season for fun. Love the guy. What did you expect from this season, Bren? Is he going to be banging him in for fun?
At Preston, probably. It's good to see him step up a bit after MK Dons. So, and yeah, he scored a great goal for Ireland a couple of months back, and so I'll probably see him play for Ireland. I've never been to an England game. I've been to 2 Ireland games now and seen Troy Parrott play once. So yeah, it's a great for him. And like I said, it's impossible to compare him to Kane. He will never reach that level, but there's a player there. So fingers crossed he gets his head down, gets a few goals to start off in the Championship, and we'll look again at him next summer.
Here's a question for you. What were these 3 talking about there?
Who's the
Conte, Palatici. It's Stenson, isn't it?
Yeah, Steinson. Is it Steinson?
Yeah.
Who's he?
He's the new director of performance.
Director of performance. Okay. Ah, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The new Steve Hitchin. It appears only bald people can do that job.
It does. He does look Hitchin-esque from that perspective, but as long as he likes January,
slightly taller and in better shape.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully,
apparently
he's
he
got a
quite
better
likes
Steve
January
Hitchin as well.
Yeah.
He was at Brentford before. Where was he before we got him? Was it Brentford or Everton?
Everton.
Everton.
He used to play for Bolton, didn't he?
He did. I remember.
A few years ago. I remember him playing for Bolton.
He worked at the Icelandic cafe as well.
Yeah,
I think
big claim to fame.
CV, but yeah,
I
reckon
tell you what, can't be a bigger clown than Hitchin.
Well, exactly. But I think they're probably talking. I reckon they're trying to get the players that. I don't even think they're letting the famous four train with the first team, are they? I think they're training separately.
I'm not 100% sure on that. I think the one thing Conte's saying is, why did you sign Spence? I asked for a right wing back and you brought me this kid.
That's not being said at all, because he greenlit the transfer caller.
Of course he did. Yeah, well, let's talk transfers now. There's certainly a few bits of interest to go through. So Christian Romero, according to Ali Gold, we're just waiting for the date to trigger his basically buy clause. So that's going to happen any day now. That's £45 million reported. Gibbo, good business. You can only say yes, really, can't you?
Yeah. I forgot to say, like in the game on Saturday, he's just a fucking animal, isn't he? Some of the challenges, what a player! Like he made a challenge, I think, in the second half, and you just saw him go through someone. He takes the ball and the man, and he just tends to get straight back. He is a top player. He will be. He is a quality player. But yeah, you can't say anything else, really, can you? You know, our upturning fortunes started when he finally started playing games for us, and he wasn't injured or on a desert island somewhere with Lo Celso playing beach volleyball or something. You know what I mean? He's a very important player for us, and he's a really good player. So yeah, that's going to get announced. So that's obviously great bit of business.
Oh
yeah, I completely agree. Fabrizio Romano has been tweeting this evening about GLC. Actually, is that what you're going to say, Shan?
Yeah, I've got it up. It says Villarreal are in direct negotiations with Tottenham for Giovanni Lo Celso. He's still top of the list for Emery, but talks are still going as there are other clubs also interested. Italian clubs are also exploring the Celso opportunity while Spurs insist on their conditions.
I can see 20 million for him.
I can see that being a deal with your mate caller, Pau Torres. I wouldn't be surprised if they explore that avenue with that. That sort of makes sense.
Like that.
Yeah, your mate Pau. So yeah, I think
Dick Towers.
Dick Towers, yeah.
It's on the sell. So I think we're playing it right. We can't let him go on the cheap because wherever he'll go, they'll spend 20-25 on him, and then he'll play well and then continue playing well for Argentina, have a good World Cup, and he'll go for 50 million next summer, something like that. So I think we shouldn't be in a hurry to shift him and get in 25. Let's see the offers that come in and make the right choice. But he's not got a future with Spurs.
No. Shame, talented player, but let's get what we can from him and move on. So it looks like he's well and truly on the move. Maybe that's what they were discussing. So there we go. Zaniolo, let's talk about him. So there you go. Apparently, we're interested and want to sign Zaniolo. Now I don't know a lot about this guy, so I'm hoping one of you does. Nod your head if you know anything.
I'll get my information from my Wednesday run sheet because I've got it all written down. One sec.
So is this the chap who's had injury problems?
Yeah, he's had 2 ACL injuries, hasn't he? But they were saying that he's actually come back stronger and he's starting to hit a bit of form again. I see it. What I've seen of him, the bits I've seen of him, I think he'd play in this. He can probably play in different positions, but he looks like we'd play him in the same position as Kulusevski. They're both left-footed. I think he's quite tricky. He can beat a player, but I don't know how. I wouldn't be able to tell you, like, in comparison to Kulusevski, how good he is. But I mean, he's a young player, isn't he? And he's obviously from the Italian league, so Paratici will be all over that, won't he? If he can get him at a decent deal.
So,
it will be.
So what I've got, Paratici's keen on signing the 23-year-old, who is one of the brightest young Italian prospects. He's played 9 times for Italy. The only issue is his injury record, and he's already had 2 ACL issues. Though people who know more than me say he's bounced back and is entering some very good form. 8 goals and 9 assists in all competitions last season for Jose's Roma, obviously scoring the winning goal in the Conference League final. That compares to James Maddison's 18 goals and 12 assists. Contract expires in 2024, so same as Maddison, and he'd likely come with a much lower transfer fee.
I think he had just broke in. He'd done his ACL, and then he'd come back from that, and I can remember watching him playing for Italy, and he looked okay. And I'm not sure if it was in that game, but he got injured again, because there was talk about us buying him a while back. And, I think he got back in the national team, and then he got another ACL, obviously massive injury. And he's coming back from that one now, but he seems like he's playing really well. So, decent addition to the squad by the sounds of it.
I mean, we're playing Roma next in Israel this weekend. So it's obvious they're going to be discussing that, isn't it, Brennan, and other opportunities. While you discuss that and any other transfer news, I'm just going to get a beer. But it's more of a walk here to the man cave, so you have to bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves.
Go and get your beer. One question: why are we playing this game in Israel as well? Like, is it an exhibition thing again?
Lady Gaga's at our stadium, because we usually have that. I don't know, to be fair. We used to have like a prestige friendly, didn't we, at the start of the season before the season started. But no, I think Lady Gaga's at our stadium, but I don't know why we're actually playing them out there. Don't know if there's any. There's got to be some kind of reason, hasn't there, that they wouldn't just pick a random venue in 2 random well, they may do, but it seems a strange one.
Yeah, there will clearly be discussions between the clubs on certain players. Jose knows our players very well, so maybe a Winks could do a year in Italy. I'm sure he'll. And
Rodon. Let's talk about Rodon, wasn't there? Did you see that?
Jose didn't fancy him either, though. Like, if he was a player that Jose played, I'd see it, but he never played him. He didn't. He didn't.
But then I've seen some reports where they said when obviously you don't know if it's a load of old bollocks or not, but they said like that I can't remember who he said it to, but Jose said to someone, keep your eye on Joe Rodon and look after him because he's going to be the best defender at the club, something like that. Okay. There was talks about Rodon going on loan to Roma last week, on the socials and stuff. So that's a possibility.
And Tongi as well. I was just saying, Adrian. Hi, Adrian. They're in the chat. Apparently, Ndombele could. Again, Jose, did he really fancy Ndombele? They had the little training session in the park. That was quite cute.
Yeah, went for a run together.
He played him quite a lot.
Sorry?
Jose played Ndombele quite a lot. Because remember, he was upset when Mason dropped him for the cup final.
He did have that run towards the end of Jose's reign. So, could be an option for him. We're not going to get a fee for Ndombele, so we those two go there that way. But who are we going to get from beyond Zaniolo? Who else do Roma have that they'd be willing to get rid of? They just got Dybala in, so who was their main striker last season?
Tammy Abraham.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Tammy Abraham did well there last year, didn't he? They were talking about another player whose name begins with Z the other day. I can't remember. A midfielder. I don't know. They might have some discussions over it, aren't they? I think like when you look at it, we're getting quite heavily linked with, not heavily really, but we're getting linked with Maddison and Zaniolo, like that creative sort of player, aren't we? So
who would you want out of the two?
I said the other week, I think I'd probably just go Maddison just because he sort of knows the league and his goal return from last year, and he's sort of settled, really, isn't he? In obviously he is English. He's settled in that league, and you never quite know. Italians coming into the Premier League's always been a little bit sort of hit or miss, haven't they? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think I'd probably just and for no other reason that Maddison already plays in the Premier League, I'd probably go Maddison.
Well, and the fact that Maddison's homegrown and we need the homegrown quota for the Champions League. All
that type of stuff, yeah.
Another player we've been linked with, Marco Asensio at Real Madrid. What would you take that, Brent? Would you be? Is he a has-been, or do you think he's still at the peak of his powers?
Only
12 months left on his contract, which is where this is all coming from.
Okay. We always this is the Paratici playbook, isn't it? Like go after 5 players and stick with one and get the main one from the 5. Again, he's never really pushed through at Real Madrid. He's never had a really sort of prolonged stint in the team, from what I know from the small following I do of them in the league and obviously in Champions League. So again, he's sort of like in that sort of Isco league. You're like, well, is it worth a punt? And maybe if it is low cost and wages aren't an issue, then yeah. But is he's sort of attacking midfielder, isn't he, Asensio?
Yeah,
wide man normally.
Yeah. Wide. Yeah. One player I just noticed that Roma have snapped up recently is our old friend Zeki Çelik, the Turkish guy. He would have been great.
He's a right back, isn't he? Is he a right back? Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like touted after him for quite a while, weren't we?
Yeah, when he was
a couple of years ago. Yeah.
But yeah, just looking at who else there could be that we could snap up. So Smalling.
No, we don't need him.
El Shaarawy, remember him?
I do. We don't want him.
Arsenal?
No.
Or was it United?
He was going to... They would talk about him going on loan somewhere. Did he go to Arsenal?
No,
on loan for a bit.
He's never played in the Premier League.
No. Just one of those names that were touted with loads of clubs, wasn't he? A while back. But yeah, I don't think we'd be going for somebody like him. They let Mkhitaryan go, Roma, didn't they? He's gone to Inter Milan on a free. He was one of their better players last season, Henrik Mkhitaryan. So yeah, I don't know. I think Zaniolo's probably who we're looking at from there.
Let's talk centre backs. Skriniar, I know we briefly touched on it earlier. Bastoni probably off the table, but Skriniar's available by the looks of it. 55 million gets you Skriniar. Would you want him though? I mean, to me, he's a bit of a clogger, if I'm honest. But he has got that natural leadership about him. That he is like an Eric Dyer. I think you're absolutely right. Maybe a bit better than Eric Dyer, but I don't know what you said, Brent.
Yeah, 55 is probably a bit too much for him. Like it was 3 years ago we were after him. Was it 3 years ago? So yeah, he's a unit. Yeah, if they're willing to let him go, I think like Bastoni said he's not leaving. He says he wants Skriniar to stay as well, which suggests that the talk of Skriniar is real. So yeah, I'd bring him in. His quality, he's certainly an upgrade on Sanchez. It means we can let Sanchez, Tanganga, Rodon, 2 of the 3 can go if we bring him in. So I reckon him or Torres, that there's a good sort of chance that one of them will be coming, because we've still got plenty of money left. We do need to shift players on. If Tanganga does go to Milan, then it does create a spot. And
another homegrown player as well. Another homegrown player gone, which is an issue for Champions League.
Forster in though, so
yeah, we are still short for Champions League. Sergio Reguilon, obviously, much touted. It's talked about once Koundé has gone from Sevilla, they will then push to sign Reguilon with those funds. Well, that looks like it's drawing to a close, and Chelsea being gazumped by Barcelona, which, by the way, is just beautiful.
How are they being gazumped now? I don't get how they're being gazumped. How Barcelona? How can they keep getting these players?
Because that's twice, which is quite wonderful to see. But
haven't they? They've sold another 15% of the TV rights.
Yeah, and they'll get a couple of $100 million for that. Like it was over 20 years or something. So they'll easily get $100 million, a couple of $100 million. Still don't understand why they're not playing off. Is it De Jong or Delete? De Jong, isn't it? The one that they owe 17 million to. And he's like, well, pay me, then I'll go to Man United. But yeah, that'd be beautiful if Koundé does go to Barca, because obviously he'd prefer to play for Barca than Chelsea. That'd be great.
Frankie de Jong's been absolutely screwed by them.
He's been stitched up, hasn't he?
But still doesn't want to go to Man United, which I think is absolutely hilarious.
It's like he hates the city.
Hates Manchester. Well, I can understand why. To be honest, always rains. Andy lives there, you know.
Do you know what this is? I love this flag because this flag is from that great day.
It's the one.
Where Andy predicted we were going to lose 5-0, and we didn't absolutely thrash them.
We beat them 1-0.
But Nuno was our manager, and Harry Kane hadn't even turned up yet, so it was quite some achievement. Yeah.
There's another Roma midfielder we're interested in, isn't it? Zalawaski.
That's the guy I saw, and I couldn't remember his name. I don't know anything about him, but yeah, that's the guy whose name was mentioned.
Only 20. Yeah. And I'll tell you the other name that's come back: Adama Traore. Yes.
No.
He's the one that I want. The one that I want. I'd be really happy with him.
Really?
Why? I think he's because he's an option we haven't got. So he can carry the ball. He can get you 30 yards up the pitch, no problem at all. Wins lots of fouls. Pace can beat a man. Yes, lack of end product, but that can be worked on.
Do you think he's better than Lucas?
Yes.
I bet if you looked at their numbers,
yes, he is,
I bet there is nothing between them, their numbers.
I beg to differ. He's 100% better than Lucas.
Lucas probably has more goals, more assists, but yeah, he's 100% better.
I'm not a massive Lucas. I'm not a massive Lucas fan, but no, not for me. I disagree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Who's this caller?
Adama.
He couldn't even get him for Wolves when he was there.
That's not true. He could.
Not all the time, though.
He was being utilised as a super sub.
The super,
Can we do a poll on YouTube?
Yeah, we actually can. Yeah.
I'm hoping that.
I can't do a live
ship
one,
is sailed.
unfortunately.
That ship is sailed.
We all had to talk ourselves round to thinking that, when we thought he was definitely going to sign, you had to start saying, he'll be a good addition to the... And really, you're thinking, this bloke's useless. We don't want him. Runs all the way down the wing, then hoops the ball into Rosette.
He's really not useless, honestly.
He's not. He's
basically, if Moussa Sissoko was an attacking player, that's basically what he is.
We do not want to be going down that route. We do not want to be going down that route.
Well, it does look like we are interested in him again. Those rumours are coming to pass. So, would you not take him as a bench option?
It's lazy journalism, caller. It's not happening.
There you go. Mark saying Wolves don't want him. Neither do Barca and Leeds. But I do. I do.
Wow.
I do.
Imagine not wanting Jed Spence, who's one of the most
promising young,
all day long.
Promising young English players, but actually wanting Adama Traore still.
That is possibly the most foolish thing you've ever said. That ranks up there.
He didn't want to come to us because he didn't want to play right wing back before. So if he comes to us now, where's he going to play?
You're talking about Jed Spence, who's had one good season in the Championship.
And how many good seasons has Adama Traore had in the Premier League? One. No,
he hasn't. He's had more than that.
I don't think he has.
Easily. Yeah, but there you go. You've just completely outgunned your own argument.
Well, I haven't,
the Premier League versus the Championship. It's levels, Shan. Levels.
I don't think so, because Jed Spence, you've got to have perspective, he's been 20 years old. He was arguably Forest's best player last season with Brennan Johnson. He's helped them win promotion to the Premier League. He's already done more in his career than Adama Traore has.
Adama Traore is it's not just about raw assists, it's about the pass before the assist as well. That's what you're overlooking.
Have you seen the stats? On average, Forest scored one more goal a game with Spence playing than they did without him. That's the stat.
I'm not interested in that.
Because it doesn't suit your narrative, caller. I
it
can't
absolutely
believe you're
doesn't.
still working over Adama Traore. Like, seriously.
I'd have him in. Absolutely. It's probably not going to happen, but, whatever. If it's a choice between signed Spence and signed Traore, I'd take Traore all day long.
Then you're just... I've lost all respect I had for your footballing opinion, if that's what
he's on the wind-up now. He's got to be on the wind-up. I've got to be. You've got to be. 100% you are.
Spence, isn't he? He's a much better player.
That's the biggest load of nonsense you ever come out with, ever.
One of them's played for Barcelona. The other one was on loan from Middlesbrough.
Hardly played for Barcelona, let's be real.
I think
it's like saying Emerson played for Barcelona.
I'm not sure Emerson did, though. I don't think he played a single game for Barcelona.
I think he did, but
he did. He played the week before the week before we signed him. I think he started the season for Barcelona.
Go and have a look at the stats now, Gibbo. Go Google it now. Go Google it now.
Google what?
How many appearances did Emerson have for Barcelona?
It might take me a while if I've got to Google it.
Absolute nonsense. Brent, I'd like to hear your take on this. Who would you be more excited over? Jed Spence, highly promising youngster that has a very, very high ceiling and is highly rated within the footballing community, or Adama Traore, who's just a big, oiled-up Moussa Sissoko who runs fast?
I don't understand how you can say he's like Moussa Sissoko.
Because he's basically an athlete with no footballing ability, like Moussa Sissoko. Brent.
I think that's an exaggeration. Emerson played 3 times in the league for Barcelona, by the way.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know what Caller's doing here. He's doubling down in his opinion. But I'd take Spence over Traore, just for the potential. We know what we'll get with Traore. He's hit his ceiling already. Probably hit a lot of ceilings the size of him.
With his shooting.
It's like the end of days if David Harris and I agree on something. So,
is it a lot of pigeons with his shooting?
Yeah.
But yeah, if again, I hate saying it, if Conte wants him, sign him. But I don't think Conte wants him. So I don't. It's a non-starter.
No,
lazy journalism.
It probably is, but so's Bastoni, to be honest, and all of that malarkey. But there you go. That's pretty much all the rumours we've got. Actually, I don't think there are any more, unless you know any. Shan, you're close to the. Oh, she's gone.
I'm still here. I'm just grabbing my charger.
Okay.
Wasn't there a cheeky link for us going for De Jong earlier? I know that's probably a load of rubbish. But
let's talk about that. Frankie De Jong coming to Tottenham. What the hell?
Well, obviously he is an extremely good player. But do you think with the players that we've brought in that midfield we've got now, we'd be looking to bring up? Obviously, you always want better players, but do you think that's the sort of player that we would have been looking at?
Frankie De Jong. I think it's all nonsense. I think Man United are the only ones stupid enough to put up the wages and the transfer fee for him. He's a terrific player, but I can't see us breaking the bank to sign him for a position we don't really need.
Yeah, he's not the player we need at the. Well, he's not the position that we want at the moment, is he? No,
absolutely not. So I Frankie De Jong, would I love to see him in a Spurs shirt? Absolutely. Is it less likely than Adama Traore happening? Absolutely. But he'd be a terrific player, wouldn't he? Frankie De Jong, either of you two, Sham, I'll go to you first.
I mean, I just want to come to this. I don't think De Jong would start for us. It's a strong take.
Who would keep him out of the team would be my question.
Yeah, Daniel, come back to us with that. Who do you think is better than De Jong in our?
All of them, by the sounds.
Well, I mean, he's a box-to-box midfielder, one of the best midfielders on the planet. So, I mean, Bentancur, I love him, but he's not that, and nor is even Basuma. So, can't see that happening somehow. Brent?
Yeah, he's quality. I think it makes sense for Ten Hag to get the Ajax band back together. So he's just got the centre back Martinez. So he's obviously trying to get him in. But like we said, De Jong doesn't want to go to Manchester. But quality player, yeah, absolutely. He's going to have a great World Cup, right? He is. That's when he'll show, because the Dutch didn't make the last World Cup, I think.
No.
So this is going to be the time when you see that beautiful orange shirt, and he's going to light it up. I've got no doubt of that. If he, it's weird that Barcelona shift him on, but I think they're trying to sort of balance the books with the players they've signed coming in. So, but
it's a really strange one. I believe his wages are the issue at Barca. I've just seen this comment is in line with what I've seen. He's reportedly thinking of lowering his wage to stay at Barcelona rather than keep the wage the same and play for Man United.
We get a higher wage there, probably.
I'll tell you something. Adrian's just reminded me of something. We have been lit with Barella. Now, this is a player I do like. He's fast. He's a fantastic player for me. Do you like Barella? Brendan, let's go to you.
Never heard of him. Sorry.
No,
I'll say what was it Becky said when he's like, he's definitely got legs. That's what I know about him. He's got 2 legs.
So he plays for Inter Milan. I know. I use him on. He's always in my FIFA squad on FIFA, the football game. Yes, I do play. Me and Diver are quite often on Twitch if you fancy watching. But he's rapid. Midfield, again, midfielder, terrific prospect, plays for Inter, plays for Italy, obviously, first team. I think he's got quite a lot of caps. Let me just Google him. In terms of his appearances for Italy, 39 and 8 goals. He has got an eye for goal. He would be a terrific signing. Terrific.
Instrumental to Conte, wasn't he, when he won the league with Inter Milan?
Instrumental to me whenever I win a game on FIFA. Normally, if I'm honest, he's just.
He'd be. I've not seen loads of him, but he would be a quality signing. But I just don't know if. We'll go for a player like him or De Jong now. I think we're sort of looking at like alternatives to sort of the midfielders and the attacking players we've got, aren't we? It looks like we're after someone who can sort of play as a number 10 more. Does he? He's more like a number 8, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a ball. I've just Wikipedia'd him. He's a ball-winning midfielder. Do we need more of them? He's scored 16 goals in 200.
Barella can do everything.
He can do
everything.
Except score goals. We've already got ball-winning midfielders. We just bought Basuma. We've got Skip. We've got Højbjerg.
Yeah, I think he's better than those players.
Really?
Yeah, he is better than those players. He's a lot faster than those players. He's a lot better on the ball than those players, is my opinion of him, from what I know. And he's got a better finish on him than those players as well. I don't know what his actual goals record is, but he's got a shot on him.
Terrible.
What's terrible about it? He's got 8 times for Italy, hasn't he?
18 in 263 games. That's not a great return.
No, but what's his most recent return?
7. That's what I had. 7.
What, 7 last season?
Oh, sorry, 3. 3 goals last season.
Okay.
Scoring goals, isn't it?
3 goals last season.
Sorry?
Hey, sorry.
Højbjerg scored 3 goals last season.
Oh, let's not talk about him. He misses sitters. I think Barella's a better player. That said,
scoring goals isn't his game, is it?
He's not what we need. We want a Maddison, an Ericsson, a player of that ilk. That's got to be the priority, surely. An attacking midfield option, and a centre back, absolutely,
and a right wing back.
I just don't see we're going to sign one. I agree with Brent. Who is there that's quality?
I don't know, but
that's the reason we signed Spence. We've signed a cost-efficient prospect. Yeah, that's what Spence is. He's a prospect. He's a punt.
But I don't think Conte, if Conte believes that we need to upgrade in that position, I don't think he'll just say, "Oh no, I'll stick with what I've got." I think he'll be pushing if they can do something. Like you said, Paratici has his loads of irons in the fire. But I think that I didn't before, but I'm sort of thinking now a creative player, another centre back if one of them goes, and possibly if something comes up, looking at upgrading the right wing back area even further.
I think you'd have to sell both Doherty and Emerson to do that, though.
Well, you've got too many right wing backs on the books,
and Mora.
I think one of them.
You're not going to sell all that. We're just
Mora's
about
like a leech. He ain't leaving.
We're just about
until he's kicked out. Bless him.
By the way, he's getting an extension.
Is he?
Yeah.
It's a 1-year option, isn't it? That I think Spurs are going to trigger the 1 year option on his contract.
There's a clue to this right now on
Wasn't it? But isn't that Coy's thing about his documentary dropping on the Spurs TV thing?
Could be.
He's got a documentary that's dropping, so I'm hoping that's what it is.
I might be in that. I might be in the doc because the thing I did for his social media stuff. So if you got Spurs play, let me know if I'm in it.
He's got 41. He's got 1 year. 1 year on his extension offer, hasn't he, Lucas? So it'll almost certainly happen, I think.
But I wouldn't be surprised still if Emerson or Doherty left the club. I think one of those will go.
I can't see it. I just can't see it. I think we've got what we've got at right wing back. Much as though it pains me to say it, now it's an issue. I completely get it's an issue because do I want those guys at right wing back? Absolutely not. I want a really good player.
He's doing all right for Conte until his injury. Doherty's not that bad an option.
Oh, I like Doherty. I've supported Doherty when people have been slating him all his Spurs career. When Sham was sticking her daggers into him, I was fighting the Doherty.
Whoa! No, because that's not factual information, caller.
I think it is, but
I don't think it is. I'd like evidence of that. If you
I'll
can
find
some.
It. I can. I've got all day. I will do. But I think Doherty is a good player, and I think that he'll be the first choice right wing back. But Emerson ain't got what we need going forward. Fine against the big boys defensively, and I think we'll want to keep him for that. By the way, but I just don't see. I think Spence will be the fourth choice. I really genuinely do. He's got to force his way in, and that worries me because it's a weakness. If you look at our squad, our team, our first 11, right wing back is our biggest weakness.
Mm-hmm. We've got to get Perisic in at left wing back. We've got to get him fit, firing, ready to play that left wing back role. And that right wing back, we need to get somebody who can contribute more going forward in that role. 100%.
Yeah.
I still think you're all massively underestimating Spence.
Oh, he may well be the bloke going, but I think, like you said, he's gonna have to learn the Conte way. He's gonna have to
learn the system, and he's got Conte's idea of football, as he says it.
It's a way off.
But with the World Cup coming as well,
I don't think it's as far off as you're making out, caller.
It's a season off.
The kid changed Forest. He was a very big part of why Forest got promoted last season, and I don't think you can just write that off. That takes. After the kicking he'd had from Warnock as well, that takes good mentality. It takes a strong character to come back from something like that, prove yourself, and he's earned himself the move. And I think he's hungry. He wants to fight. He wants to play. He's not going to come to Spurs not backing himself to play. So
I agree with everything you've just said. Still think he'd be fourth choice.
No.
I hope you're right. I genuinely do hope you're right.
I think by the World Cup he'll be starting. He'll be starting at right wing back for us. I genuinely do.
I think it depends on how it just totally depends on how he takes his chances and what other players do. I think the Doc will be the first choice right wing back with his goatee.
Was the only outfield player to not play a minute against Rangers, though.
He's coming back for a nasty injury, isn't he?
But he played in Korea both games, so it's a bit weird that he.
I would imagine he might have a knock or something. I don't think it'll be because he's not going to play.
But Davies and Smith both have knocks, and they were left behind.
Yeah, they did say that. They sort of said those two aren't in the squad through injury, through not being fully fit, and Doherty wasn't. But I mean, the fact that we're sort of arguing who our starting right wing back is going to be between Doherty, Emerson, possibly Mora, and a really young, promising. I wouldn't if Conte isn't getting what he wants from Emerson, then I can see him starting. Why would he keep persisting with him there? Why would you, if you've got no intention of playing him in that position, why would you bring him on over Spence? He could have brought Spence on. It's a friendly. He could have brought Spence on.
Yeah, but Spencer's only been training with the team for less than a week. I think he's putting Mora there to try and get him minutes. I really do. I don't see him playing.
I think his preferred option is to put Mora at right wing back. I do. You know the way he converted Moses. I think that's what he thinks he can do with Mora.
I don't think he can.
If Doherty if he could have brought Doherty on right wing back, couldn't he? If he obviously we're saying now that he wasn't put down as an injured player, so could have brought Doherty on. It was only the second half. He could have, Spence must have had 45 minutes in his legs. He's a young kid, and the fact that he sort of Mora was his go-to guy, and he's been saying I do like playing, converting wingers into wing backs. I think there's a real chance. I'm not saying that's what I want to happen. But I think there's a real chance that he could be the starting right wing back for that Southampton. Well, we'll see against Roma, won't we? Where who starts and what happens there. I just find it strange.
I agree with you. I think there is a real chance that Lucas will be our right wing back this season with Doherty.
He didn't have to play him there on. He didn't have to put him on at right wing back on Saturday.
I mean, Doherty. The other thing is, Shan, it can be sometimes a little bit like, well, I've got Mora. I want to see what he can do. I've got Spence. I want to see what he can do. I know what Doherty can do. I don't really need to.
But then he knows what Emerson can do as well. And Emerson played the first 45. Emerson started the game.
Yeah, but Emerson's been working on his crossing.
Which you can see, by the way. His crossing is a lot better, but he just hasn't got the confidence to shoot when he's in those types of areas, which is really frustrating. The first one, I thought I'd let him off because we were only not even 2 minutes in. But the second one was he definitely should have shot. Like, there's no excuse for it. And I like Emerson. I'm part of the Emerson fan club. I think he's I don't think he's as bad as everyone makes him out to be. I think there is a player there. I agree. It's just confidence. He hasn't got the confidence to do the things we need him to do when he's at the top end of the pitch. But I think Emerson will start against Southampton. And I don't think we'll sell him. You don't want to leave. You can't force a player to go if they don't want to.
Well, if they've got a contract now.
And he's 5 years? 5-year contract? 4 years left?
4 years left.
It'll be interesting to see what develops there. So be interesting to see on Saturday what happens, because I think pretty much what that team is on Saturday against Roma will be the starting team against Southampton, barring obviously injuries.
Maybe, or it might be the team that finishes on the pitch. You don't know which way around you'll play it, but yeah, it's very hard to know, to be honest. I mean, we can do sort of predictions of that closer to the time, but if it was me right now, I'd still put Doherty at right wing back because he's the most proven right wing back we have. He can hurt teams.
With previous managers, we've seen in friendlies lots of the youth team players in young and really sort of like mixed teams in friendlies, haven't we? Whereas Conte pretty much goes strong. He goes strong. And I think a week before the season, he will want them at it. He will want to know who's at it, who's at the fitness peak, the peaks of their fitness. And I think he'll be saying this is the warm-up ready for next weekend. And I think he'll be putting out a reasonably strong team. And it makes me think that Sanchez will start left wing back because he started him there in 2 games in a row now, hasn't he? So if he starts him, I think he'll start him there again on Sunday. 3 in a row on the left. So, that'll be interesting as well, won't it? Because he struggles out there, I think, with the ball.
Absolutely.
It's his passing, isn't he? Because he's so right-footed. I don't think he has a left foot. Although, did you see that? Honestly, if Cesc would have put that chance away, that would have been assist of the season already from Sanchez. Yeah. That naughty flick in the box, that was brilliant from him. I was just shocked to see him in the box because that's not his game. He's obviously been working on it.
Well, there you go. Just time for this. Vardy will be a super signing, wouldn't he? Just don't think it's going to happen though. Yeah.
Chelsea probably. If Chelsea moved on from Koundé, they're going to go after Guardiola.
There's Adrian's.
And then he'll reject them as well because that seems to be the theme this summer.
That's pretty much how I think we'll start against, or how we should start against Southampton. But I think Højbjerg
will play definitely. Yeah.
It'll be Bentancur and Højbjerg, won't it?
And Davis, if he's fit, will be ahead a long way at the moment.
Yeah,
but depends how much training Davis has done. If he might be fit, but if he hasn't trained for a full week or whatever, I don't think he'll start. Lenglet, obviously, because he's left-footed, and you feel a lot more confident with someone who's got a left foot playing there.
It'll be interesting to see if he starts against Roma after getting half hour or so on Saturday.
What I want to see against Roma really is, and we'll cover this on Friday's show, I'm sure, but I really want to see Longley start to see what balance he brings to that back three. I really want to see Spence start and get a chance. Yeah, those are the 2 players I'm most interested in getting to see, really. And I'd like Basuma to start as well and get some proper minutes in his legs. Because I think, again, these players need to bed in and knit into the team. But there you go. We've been going 1 hour, 37 minutes, so we are going to call it a day there. Gibbo, thanks very much for joining us as ever. You're back on Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah, back for the Wednesday club. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on. Looking forward to Wednesday. So everybody tune in Wednesday.
Do that. 9 p.m. Wednesday. Shan, you'll be back in the host with the most chair.
Absolutely. Wednesday club. We've got Vasconi from Dr. Tottenham podcast as well. So really excited for that. I think he'll bring some good opinions with him. So yeah, Wednesday club, 9:00. Be there or be square.
Yeah.
And Brendan, thanks again for joining us as ever from Brazil. And you'll be in my hot seat on Friday.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And just one thing I didn't mention earlier, we played Rangers in the Walter Tull Cup, Memorial Cup. If you want to learn more about Walter Tull, we did do a podcast with his biographer, and that's not Walter Tull, his biographer, and with Nick Bailey, who used to be in EastEnders, but he presented the Walter Tull program documentary on BBC Two, I think it was. We retweeted the pod recently. It was from almost 2 years ago. But it's a fascinating listen to learn more about Walter Tull, his legacy, not just as a footballer, but in the army, the discrimination that he faced in the army. He led soldiers into battle, which was illegal at the time that black people could lead a regiment, but they broke the rules for this ban. That's how big he was. So want to learn more about Walter Tull? If you're a Rangers fan or a Spurs fan, check out that pod. We retweeted it over the weekend. The Life of Walter Tull was the name of the pod.
That's right. And don't be a clown. Get over to our Patreon site. It's the patreon.com/Cheesering podcast. For £3 a month, you could join in the fun. And it is going to be fun this season. We've got fantasy football. We've got Predict the Score. You've got Match Day Chat, merchandise and more. So get over there, £3 a month. It's a great way of supporting the Cheese Room. And really, we've got a community. I think there's about over 100 people in it. Fantastic chat in there and well worth £3 a month. So do check that out. Right. As ever, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Spurs.